Captain June sat in his command chair on the bridge of the Horizon Seeker *. The ship hummed quietly around him. The soft blue lights of the control panels made the metal walls glow. June looked at the main screen. It showed stars and the blackness of space. "Captain, we have new orders," said Minji. She was the science officer. Her fingers moved quickly over her screen as she read the message. "We need to check an unexplored star system on the edge of our maps." June nodded. "Set course, Pilot Han." The pilot pressed some buttons, and the ship turned toward their new destination. "It will take 3 days to reach the system," Han said. June stood up. "Good." Minji, gather the senior crew for a meeting in 1 hour. We need to prepare for this mission. In the meeting room, 5 officers sat around a round table. Holograms of the star system floated above them. "This is what we know," Minji said, pointing at the holograms. "The star is similar to many we've seen before. It has 8 planets. Nothing unusual." "Then why are we going there?" asked Do-Yun. He was the security chief. His uniform was darker than the others, with extra badges on the shoulders. "The Confederation detected strange signals from the 3rd planet," Minji explained. "They think there might be intelligent life." Yunji, the xenobiologist, leaned forward with excitement. "A new species. That would be the 5th we found this year." "Don't get too excited," Jun said. "It could be nothing, but we'll check it carefully." 3 days later, the Horizon Seeker * entered the new star system. The crew watched as they passed the outer planets, giant gas worlds with rings and many moons. Everything seemed normal until they approached the 3rd planet. "Captain, I'm getting strange readings," Minji said. Her voice was tense. "This planet, it doesn't make sense." June walked to her station. "What's wrong?" "The gravity is too strong. The atmosphere has too much oxygen. There are huge oceans of liquid water. The temperature changes from very hot to very cold. And there's so much radiation from the sun." Yunji joined them, looking at Minji's screen. "According to our scale, this would be a Class 5 death world. Nothing smart could evolve there. The conditions are too harsh." "But the signals," Jun began. "They're definitely artificial," said Hyunwoo from the communication station. "I'm picking up thousands of different transmissions. Radio waves, digital signals, all kinds of electromagnetic waves." "Show me," Jun ordered. The main screen lit up with images from the planet. They saw cities, roads, flying machines, and large boats on the water. "Impossible," whispered Do-Yun. "How can anything live in such conditions?" "Zoom in," Jun said. The image focused on one of the cities. They could now see small figures moving around. "They're bipedal," Yunji noted. 2 arms, 1 head. They look almost like Confederation species, but they're moving in open air without any protection suits. "This can't be right," Minji said. She checked her instruments again. According to these readings, the air there would kill most Confederation citizens in minutes. The gravity would crush our bones. The radiation would cause cancer. "Yet they've built a civilization," Jun said quietly. "And they're using technology." The crew fell silent, watching the screen with wonder and fear. "Captain," Hyunwoo said after a while, "the Confederation protocols are clear. We need to establish contact with any spacefaring civilization." Jun nodded slowly. "Send the standard greeting message on all frequencies. Let's see if they respond." "And Captain," Do-Yun added, "I suggest we keep our distance until we know more. If these beings evolved on a death world, they might be more dangerous than any species we've met before." "Agreed," Jun said. He returned to his command chair, eyes fixed on the blue and green planet. "Whatever lives down there, they've survived conditions that should have made life impossible. We need to be very careful." The Horizon Seeker moved into orbit around the blue planet. From space, Earth looked peaceful. Swirls of white clouds moved across blue oceans and green and brown land. But the ship's sensors told a different story. The weather systems are violent, Minji reported. Storms with winds that could tear apart our landing craft. And look at these temperature ranges, from burning hot to freezing cold. Captain Jun watched the main screen. It showed a night side of the planet with countless tiny lights marking cities. Have they answered our message? He asked. Hyunwoo shook his head. No direct answer, Captain. But I've been listening to their broadcasts. There are thousands of languages. I'm working on translations now. Show us what you've learned, Jun ordered. Hyunwoo pressed some buttons. The main screen filled with images from Earth, people walking in cities, vehicles moving on roads, aircraft flying through skies, ships sailing across rough seas. They call themselves humans, Hyunwoo explained, and they call their planet Earth. They look so normal, Yeonji said, studying the images carefully. But to live in those conditions, they must be incredibly strong. Do-yeon pointed at one image. Look at that. They're playing in water during a storm. Don't they know how dangerous that is? I think, Minji said slowly, what's dangerous to us might be normal to them. Captain Jun stood up. We need to learn more. I want a closer look. Captain, Do-yeon warned, the rules say we should wait for their response before any contact. We won't make contact yet, Jun replied. But I want to see these humans up close. Prepare a small landing craft. Yeonji, Minji, Do-yeon, you're with me. 4 hours later, the small craft descended through Earth's atmosphere. Everyone wore the most advanced environmental suits the Confederation had made. The craft shook violently as it passed through a storm cloud. Gravity increasing, said Minji, checking the readings. Our bodies will feel very heavy down there. The craft landed in a forest clearing, far from any human cities. Night had fallen, and rain pattered on the craft's metal roof. Suits sealed. Air tanks full. Jun asked. Everyone nodded. Let's go. The door opened, and the 4 aliens stepped onto Earth's soil. Immediately, they felt the pull of gravity. It was like carrying a heavy backpack. The air, even filtered through their suits, smelled rich and strange. Look at the plant life, Yeonji said, pointing at the trees. So tall and thick. The competition for sunlight must be intense. The oxygen levels are making my head spin, even through the filters, Minji said. And the background radiation, it's higher than safe levels on our worlds. A sound made them turn. Through the trees, they saw lights approaching. Humans, Do-yeon whispered, we should hide. They moved behind some bushes and watched as 3 humans walked into the clearing. 2 males and a female, wearing simple clothes and carrying lights. They seemed to be looking for something. They're moving so easily, Yeonji whispered in awe. No protection suits, no breathing masks, just thin cloth covering parts of their bodies. One of the humans spoke, and Hyunwoo's voice came through their earpieces with a translation. I'm sure I saw something come down around here. Another human laughed. Probably just a meteor, Shuno. Stop chasing aliens and help us find this lost kid. The third human called out, Tahoe, where are you? From somewhere in the forest, a child's voice answered. The humans quickly moved toward the sound. They're out at night, in the rain, looking for a lost child, Minji noted. That shows advanced social behavior. And bravery, Do-yeon added reluctantly. These conditions would be considered extreme danger for our people. They watched as the humans found the child and comforted him. The adults showed no fear of the darkness or the weather. Captain, Yeonji said quietly, these humans don't just survive here. They belong here. This deadly world is their home. Jun nodded slowly. And that makes them unlike any species we've ever met. They're not just surviving the Deathworld. They're thriving in it. As they returned to their craft, all 4 aliens felt the same thing. A new feeling that was part wonder, part fear. Humanity was something unexpected. Something powerful. Something that had evolved in conditions that should have made intelligent life impossible. And now the Confederation would have to decide what to do about them. 1 week after their secret visit to Earth, Captain June stood before a large screen on the Horizon Seeker. The humans had finally answered their message. Now, June faced a group of Earth leaders in a video meeting. "We welcome you to Earth," said one human in a dark suit. "I am Secretary General of the United Nations. We represent Earth's nations." June bowed slightly. "I am Captain June of the Galactic Confederation. We come in peace to learn about your world." After many questions from both sides, they agreed to meet in person. The humans offered to host the meeting in a city called Seoul. "Is it safe for us to breathe your air?" June asked. The humans looked surprised. "Our air is 21% oxygen. Is that a problem?" Minji, standing next to June, whispered, "That's very high. We normally breathe 12%. We'll need to adjust our suits." 2 days later, June and his team stepped out of their landing craft at a human airport. Despite adjusting their suits, they still felt heavy in Earth's gravity. A group of humans waited to greet them. "Welcome to Earth," said a man who stepped forward. "I am Sunho, your guide and translator during your stay." Do-hyun scanned the area, noting how many humans watched them. "Your people don't seem afraid of aliens," he said. Sunho smiled. "We've been expecting visitors from space for a long time. We just didn't know who would come first." A line of black cars took them to a large building where world leaders waited. The meeting room had special chairs for the aliens, designed to help with Earth's gravity. "You are very kind to think of our comfort," Yeonji said to Sunho. "Of course, we want you to feel at home," Sunho replied. "Though I understand our world is very different from yours." "Different is an understatement," Minji said. "Your world would be classified as a Class 5 Deathworld in our system." Sunho looked confused. "Deathworld? But Earth is perfect for us. We have clean water, good soil, and beautiful nature." "What you call perfect," June explained, "would kill most Confederation species in ours. Your gravity, your air, your weather, your radiation levels, all are extreme by our standards." The meeting began, and both sides shared information about their worlds and people. The aliens explained about the Confederation, which included 12 different species from garden worlds, planets with mild conditions. When the humans showed videos of Earth's different environments, deserts, mountains, oceans, jungles, the aliens were amazed. "You live in all these places?" Yoonji asked in disbelief. "Of course," a human leader answered. "Humans have adapted to live almost everywhere on Earth." "And this is nothing," Sunho added. "We've even lived underwater, in space stations, and on our moon." That evening, the aliens were guests at a dinner in their honor. Special food was prepared that would be safe for them to eat. But they watched in shock as humans ate spicy foods, drank alcohol, and consumed caffeine. "Are they drinking poison?" Do-hyun whispered to Minji, who was scanning the human food with a small device. "Yes, but in small amounts," she answered quietly. "They seem to enjoy it. These substances would kill us, but their bodies can process them." Later, June and Sunho stood on a balcony overlooking the city. Lights sparkled below them, and humans moved about despite the late hour. "Your people never stop, do they?" June asked. "Why would we?" Sunho replied. "There's so much to do, to learn, to build. On our worlds, we rest when the sun sets. The night can be dangerous." Sunho looked at the alien captain. "I'm beginning to understand. What we see as normal, you see as dangerous. What we find comfortable, you find extreme." June nodded. "Your average human would be classified as an apex predator on most Confederation worlds. You are stronger, more durable, and more adaptable than anything we've encountered. Is that good or bad?" Sunho asked. "I don't know yet," June admitted, "but it will change everything in the Confederation. The way we see the galaxy, and the way we see ourselves, will never be the same." 1 month after first contact, Earth and the Confederation agreed to share knowledge. Scientists from both sides would work together to learn from each other. Yunji, the xenobiologist from the Horizon Seeker, was sent to work at a research center in Seoul. Her partner was a human scientist named Juwoo. "Today I want to show you something special," Juwoo said one morning. She held up 2 backpacks. "We're going on a field trip." Yunji looked at the backpacks with doubt. Even with her special suit that helped her handle Earth's gravity, she still moved slowly compared to humans. "Where are we going?" she asked. "Mountain climbing," Juwoo replied with a smile. "Don't worry, I picked an easy one for beginners." 2 hours later, they stood at the base of a mountain. Yunji looked up at the rocky slope rising high above them. To her, it looked impossible to climb. "This is recreation for you?" she asked. Juwoo nodded. Many humans climb mountains for fun. Some even climb the tallest mountains on Earth, where the air is so thin they need oxygen tanks. "Like spacesuits," Yunji said. "You need spacesuits on your own planet." "I never thought of it that way," Juwoo laughed. "But yes, I guess we do." As they climbed, Yunji struggled with every step. The gravity pulled at her, and the oxygen-rich air made her feel lightheaded. But Juwoo moved easily, often waiting for Yunji to catch up. "How do you do this so easily?" Yunji asked during a rest. "Our bodies are built for it," Juwoo explained. "Strong bones, strong muscles, good lungs. Our ancestors had to climb, run, and fight to survive." Yunji thought about that. On her home world, the mild conditions meant her species never needed such physical strength. They had evolved big brains instead of strong bodies. Meanwhile, aboard the Horizon Seeker, Hyunwoo was studying human history. What he found disturbed him deeply. "Captain," he said, showing Jun his findings, "humans have been at war with each other for most of their history." Jun looked at the images of human battles through the ages. "All species fight sometimes," he said. "Not like this," Hyunwoo insisted. "And look at how fast their technology changes. Each war pushed them to make better weapons, better ships, better planes. They went from basic flight to walking on their moon in just 66 years. "What are you saying?" Jun asked. "I'm saying that hardship made them strong and innovative. Their harsh world forced them to adapt quickly or die. And war made them advance faster than any Confederation species." Before Jun could answer, a message alert sounded. It was from Confederation High Command. Jun read it, and his face grew serious. "They want us to classify Earth as a Class 6 death world," he said. "That's the highest level. And they want us to set up containment protocols." "Containment?" Hyunwoo asked. "Like quarantine. They want to isolate Earth." Jun nodded. "They fear humans could be a threat if they spread into space. Humans are too strong, too aggressive, too adaptable. The command thinks they could outcompete other species. But we've been working with them peacefully," Hyunwoo argued. "We're learning from each other." "I know," Jun said. "And now I have to decide. Follow orders or trust the relationships we've built." Back on the mountain, Yunji and Juwoo reached the top. Despite her exhaustion, Yunji felt proud. She had climbed a mountain on a death world. "Look," Juwoo said, pointing to the view of the city below. "Isn't it beautiful?" Yunji nodded. From up here, Earth did look peaceful. It was hard to believe this world had shaped a species tough enough to survive conditions that would kill most aliens. "Your people are amazing, Juwoo," she said. "You've mastered this deadly world in ways we never imagined possible." "We don't see it as deadly," Juwoo replied. "We see it as home." Yunji's communication device beeped. It was an urgent message from Captain Jun. "Return to ship immediately. Situation developing. Bring your human colleague if possible." "What's wrong?" Juwoo asked, seeing Yunji's worried face. "I don't know," Yunji answered. "But I think the Confederation has made a decision about Earth. And I'm not sure it's a good one." Captain Jun stood before Earth's United Nations Security Council. The room was tense. Sunho sat beside him, helping with translation. I have good news and bad news, Jun said. The good news is that I have refused the order to contain Earth. The bad news is that we have a bigger problem. He pressed a button on his wrist device. A 3D image appeared in the center of the room, showing a fleet of ships. These are Ravager vessels, Jun explained. They are moving toward your solar system. They are not part of the Confederation. They are conquerors who have already taken 3 of our worlds. Why are they coming here? Asked a council member. They detected our communications with Earth. They see your planet as a strategic location, and they don't know what you are capable of. General Taewoo, head of South Korea's military, spoke up. How strong are they? How many ships? 20 battle cruisers. Each can destroy a city from orbit. Their weapons are more advanced than yours, Jun said. I've called for Confederation help, but it will take 3 weeks for our fleet to arrive. The Ravagers will be here in 10 days, Minji added. The room fell silent. Then General Taewoo stood. Then we fight with what we have, he said firmly. Can your ship help us? Jun nodded. The Horizon Seeker is not a warship, but we will stand with you. The next week was busy. Earth's militaries prepared for battle while Confederation officers helped them understand what they would face. Do-hyun trained with human special forces. He was amazed by their methods. You're telling me humans routinely jump out of aircraft for training? He asked a soldier named Ki-hyun. It's called parachuting, Ki-hyun explained. We do it to get behind enemy lines. But the risk? Ki-hyun shrugged. Life is risk. We do what we must to win. Later that day, Do-hyun reported to Captain Jun. These humans are natural warriors, he said. They think differently about danger. What we see as deadly, they see as just another challenge. Meanwhile, Minji worked with Earth scientists to improve human weapons. They found ways to modify missiles to penetrate Ravager shields. Your technology is still basic compared to ours, Minji told the human engineers, but your creativity makes up for it. You find solutions we would never think of. Necessity is the mother of invention, one engineer replied. When our backs are against the wall, humans get very creative. On the 9th day, the Horizon Seeker's sensors detected the Ravager fleet entering the solar system. They're early, Kanwoo said with alarm. They must have pushed their engines beyond safe limits. Warn Earth, Jun ordered. All ships prepare for battle. Earth had gathered its best ships and planes. They looked small and weak compared to alien vessels, but they were crewed by humans who had spent their lives adapting to harsh conditions. General Taewoo's voice came over the radio. All Earth forces, this is command. Remember your training. Stay in your groups. These aliens may have better ships, but they've never faced humans before. Show them what Earth is made of. The first Ravager ships appeared near the moon. Without warning, they fired on the Horizon Seeker *. Shields failing, cried the pilot as the ship shook violently. We can't take another hit like that. Return fire, Jun ordered. The Horizon Seeker shot back, hitting one Ravager ship. But there were too many. A second blast hit the Confederation ship. Alarms blared as systems failed. We're losing orbit, the pilot shouted. We're being pulled into Earth's gravity. All crew to escape pods, Jun commanded. Send emergency signal to Earth forces. As the Horizon Seeker * broke apart, Jun watched the battle unfold above Earth. Human ships were attacking the Ravagers, but their weapons were barely effective against the alien shields. They're so brave, he thought as his escape pod launched. But bravery may not be enough this time. The pod entered Earth's atmosphere, glowing red-hot. Through the window, Jun could see Ravager ships beginning to land troops on the planet below. The battle for Earth had begun, and as his pod plunged toward the blue ocean, Jun wondered if even a species adapted to a death world could survive what was coming. Captain Jun's escape pod splashed down in the Pacific Ocean. Waves rocked the small craft as he struggled to open the hatch. When it finally opened, salty air rushed in. The pod was starting to sink. June looked around desperately. Water stretched in every direction. On his world, falling into an ocean meant certain death. But here he was, surrounded by water on a death world. Then he heard a sound. A large gray ship appeared on the horizon, moving quickly toward him. It was an Earth vessel. As the ship got closer, Jones saw humans in uniform running along the deck. One pointed at his pod. Soon, a smaller boat was lowered into the water and headed toward him. "Hold on," a human called through a speaker. "We're coming to get you." The small boat reached Jun just as his pod sank beneath the waves. Strong hands pulled him aboard. "I am Captain Minho of the South Korean Navy," said a man in a dark uniform. "We detected your pod's emergency signal." "Thank you," Jun said weakly. "My crew." There were more pods. "We're finding them," Minho assured him. "Several have already been rescued." On the main ship, Jun found Minji and several other crew members. They gathered around a screen showing news from around the world. Ravager ships had landed in major cities. Buildings were on fire. Human militaries were fighting back, but their weapons couldn't pierce the Ravagers' armor. "We need to help them," Jun said. "Minji, can you adapt their weapons like you were planning?" Minji nodded. "I'll need a lab and some human engineers." Captain Minho stepped forward. "We have both on this ship, and we're heading to Seoul now." As they sailed toward Korea, Minji worked with human engineers. They took apart missiles and rebuilt them with Confederation technology. "These should penetrate their shields," Minji explained. "But we only have materials for a few dozen." "It's a start," Minho said. "We'll make them count." In Seoul, chaos ruled. Ravager troops marched through streets, firing at anything that moved. They wore heavy armor suits that made them look like walking tanks. In an underground bunker, General Taewoo gathered his forces. Jun and his crew joined them, along with Captain Minho. "The Ravagers come from a low-gravity world," Jun explained. "Their natural bodies are weak. Those suits help them move in Earth's gravity. So they're not as tough as they look?" asked a soldier. "Their technology is tough," Jun said. "But inside those suits, they're weaker than humans." Taewoo pointed to a map. "They've set up a command center here, in the city center. If we can take that out, it might disrupt their forces. Our modified missiles can pierce their shields," Minji added, "but we only have 20 ready." "Make them count," Taewoo said. "We attack at dawn." As night fell, Hyunwoo received an emergency signal. A group of Confederation crew members were trapped in a collapsed building, surrounded by Ravagers. "We need to help them," he told Jun. "It's too dangerous," Jun replied. "We should wait for the main attack." Before they could argue more, a group of human civilians approached them. "We heard some of your people are trapped," said their leader, a woman with determination in her eyes. "We know those streets. We can help." "But you have no weapons, no armor," Jun protested. The woman smiled grimly. "We are Koreans. We've faced invaders before. We don't need fancy weapons to fight for our home." That night, the human civilians led a rescue mission. They moved through dark streets, avoiding Ravager patrols. When they found the trapped aliens, they dug through rubble with bare hands to free them. Watching them work, Hyunwoo turned to Jun. "They're not just physically strong," he said quietly. "Their social bonds, their willingness to help others even during an invasion. It's unlike anything we've seen." One human was wounded by Ravager fire during the escape. Despite the pain, he kept moving, helping carry an injured Confederation officer. "Why?" Jun asked him. "Why risk your life for aliens you barely know?" The man looked at him with tired eyes. "Because it's the right thing to do. And if we're going to survive this, we need to stand together." Back at the bunker, as medics treated the wounded, Jun realized something important. Humans weren't just adapted to survive Earth's harsh conditions. They had also learned to work together against all odds. And that might be their greatest strength of all. Dawn broke over Seoul. The sky was orange with smoke from burning buildings. In the underground bunker, General Taewoo addressed the mixed force of human soldiers and Confederation aliens. "Today we take back our city," he said firmly. "Our scientists and the Confederation team have made a discovery that gives us hope." He nodded to Juwoo and Yunji, who stood side by side. "The Ravagers can't handle Earth's atmosphere for long periods," Juwoo explained. "Our air has too much oxygen for them. It affects their brains after several hours of exposure." "We've seen them changing air filters in their helmets," Yunji added. "If we can damage those filters, Earth's air will slowly poison them." Do-hyun stepped forward. "I've been training with your special forces. We have a plan to target their command ship." The plan was dangerous but simple. While the main forces attacked from the front using the modified missiles, small teams would strike from unexpected directions. Captain Minho led a naval group toward the Han River, where a Ravager ship had landed. His team carried special equipment, diving gear. "The Ravagers avoid water," Minho explained to June, who accompanied them. "On their world, the water is acidic. They fear it." "So you will attack from the river?" June asked. Minho nodded. "They won't expect it." The divers slipped into the dark water. They swam silently toward the Ravager ship, carrying waterproof explosives. Above them, Ravager guards patrolled the shore, never looking at the water. On the other side of the city, Do-hyun joined a team of human soldiers led by Ki-hyun. They climbed through sewers and subway tunnels, moving under the streets where Ravagers marched. "Your people know this city well," Do-hyun said as they crawled through a narrow tunnel. "We've lived here for generations," Ki-hyun replied. "Every street, every building, every tunnel. They're part of us. The Ravagers just arrived. They don't know what's beneath their feet." They emerged from a maintenance hatch right under the Ravager command post. The aliens had set up their control center in a tall office building, never suspecting danger from below. At exactly 800 hours, the attack began. From the front lines, human forces fired the modified missiles. They punched through Ravager shields, destroying several of their walking tanks. The surprised aliens returned fire, focusing on the obvious threat. That's when Captain Minho's divers struck. Explosions rocked the Ravager ship from below. Water poured into its lower decks. Ravager troops ran in panic from the ship, right into the waiting guns of human soldiers. At the command post, Do-hyun and Ki-hyun's team burst up through the floor. They threw special grenades that Minji had designed to crack Ravager helmets. As the aliens' face shields broke, Earth's oxygen-rich air flowed in. The Ravagers staggered, suddenly dizzy and confused. "Their neural functions are failing," Do-hyun reported over the radio. "The air is affecting them, just as Juwoo predicted." Across the city, humans fought with a ferocity that shocked even the battle-hardened Ravagers. Ordinary citizens joined soldiers, using whatever weapons they could find. They knew every alley, every building, every hiding place. They fought in conditions that would exhaust most species, through fire, smoke, dust, and debris. A Ravager commander, watching his forces retreat, sent an urgent message to his fleet. "These creatures, they don't fear anything. They fight in conditions that should kill them. They breathe poisonous air. They drink acid. They walk through fire. This isn't a planet. It's a training ground for monsters." By midday, the tide had turned. Human forces had retaken the city center. The remaining Ravagers retreated to their ships. Do-hyun found himself fighting alongside Ki-hyun as they cleared a building. A wall collapsed near them, and Do-hyun froze. On his world, such a weight would mean certain death. But Ki-hyun pulled him through the dust and falling debris without hesitation. "How do you stay so calm?" Do-hyun asked when they reached safety. Ki-hyun wiped dust from his face. "This is our home. We know its dangers. We respect them, but we don't fear them." Watching the humans fight, Do-hyun finally understood. "They thought they were invading a planet," he said quietly. "Instead, they invaded a death world with billions of apex predators who call it home." And the Ravagers were learning a painful lesson. Earth might be dangerous, but humans were far more dangerous than their planet ever could be. 1 week after the Battle of Seoul, the Ravager fleet retreated from Earth. They had lost too many ships and troops to continue fighting. As they fled, Earth's people celebrated their victory. June stood on the roof of a tall building, watching the sun set over the city. Parts of Seoul still showed damage from the fighting, but repair work had already begun. Humans were rebuilding with amazing speed. "There they are," said Sunho, pointing to the sky. Looking up, Jun saw new lights appearing among the stars. The Confederation fleet had finally arrived, too late for the battle, but just in time for what came next. 2 days later, Jun stood before the Confederation Council. The meeting was held by video link between Earth and the flagship of the Confederation fleet. "Captain Jun," said the council leader, "explain why you disobeyed direct orders to contain this planet." Jun looked at the stern faces on the screen. "Because I learned that our understanding of Deathworlds was wrong," he said. "We thought that harsh planets created weak species that needed technology to survive. Earth proved the opposite." He showed images from the battle against the Ravagers. Humans fighting in conditions that would kill most species. Humans breathing smoke, crossing burning buildings, diving into water, and climbing through rubble. "Earth isn't just a death world," Jun explained. "It's a training ground. It created a species unlike any we've encountered. Humans don't just survive their harsh world. They've mastered it." The council looked uncomfortable. "That is exactly why they should be contained," one member argued. "They could be a threat to the Confederation. Or our greatest allies," Jun countered. "The Ravagers fled from humans. No Confederation world has ever defeated Ravagers before." Minji stepped forward. "Our studies show that humans are not naturally aggressive. They are protective. They value cooperation. During the invasion, they risked their lives to save our crew members, aliens they barely knew." The council debated for hours. Finally, they'd reached a decision. "Earth will be offered membership in the Confederation," the leader announced, "with special provisions recognizing their unique abilities and requirements." 6 months later, the first Earth embassy opened on the Confederation capital world. Sunho was appointed as humanities ambassador. The ceremony was attended by representatives from all 12 Confederation species. At the reception afterward, Minji presented her final report to Jun. "I've been analyzing what makes humans different," she said. "It's not just their physical adaptations to Earth's harsh conditions. It's their minds." "What do you mean?" Jun asked. "Most species evolved to avoid danger," Minji explained. "But humans evolved to overcome it. Where we see problems, they see challenges. Where we see threats, they see opportunities. Their brains reward them for taking risks and solving difficult problems." "That explains a lot," Jun said, watching a group of human delegates laughing with Confederation officials. "They enjoy doing things that would terrify us." After the ceremony, Jun visited Earth one last time before his new assignment. Yunji took him to a park where human children played. The children climbed tall structures, swung from bars, ran at full speed, and fell down only to get up again. To Jun, they seemed to be doing incredibly dangerous things. But their parents watched calmly from nearby benches. "I still don't understand how you live like this," Jun said to Yunji. "Everything on this planet seems designed to kill." Yunji, who had spent more time on Earth than any other Confederation member, smiled. "That's the secret we finally learned. Earth isn't trying to kill them. It made them strong." As they watched, a small boy fell and scraped his knee. He cried for a moment, then got up and continued playing with barely a pause. "They fall. They bleed. They get up again," Yunji said. "That's why the Ravagers never stood a chance. They thought they were invading a planet, but they were really fighting the strongest species in the galaxy." Jun looked up at the blue sky of Earth, a sky filled with radiation, extreme weather, and conditions that should make life impossible. Yet under that sky, a species had evolved that could not just survive, but reach for the stars. We thought we knew what Deathworlds were, he said quietly, until we met Earth.